it comes with frustration, it comes with anger, it comes with reaction, it comes with different emotional threats that those individuals did not see at the beginning of their marriage. So the effect and the rippling effect is that the reaction is that I no longer want this marriage. But the problem is the man could not perform.
Yeah, but they don't usually come out and say that.
This is the challenge. The challenge here now is, how does the court assist for those people who do not want to open up to say it and they want to dissolve their marriage? The court will simply refer them to the conciliators, experts, and in certain occasions, the judge himself, who is sitting in court, can ask questions, examine and interview these people, and even go into conciliation with them in his chambers. We go that far. In the course of that conciliation, they are referred to medical experts who award their salt in those fields. I think this is where your profession can also help people who are having these kind of challenges.
Yes.
Once the court refers them to medical experts who understand that there are certain hormonal changes that also come with midlife crisis, that the doctors can address, maybe by assistance, maybe by drugs, maybe by whatever means an expert can look at it and assist those people. The court also encourages it.
And you bring up a good point. I'm going to quickly do a plug-in for what we do as well. You said it just right. The hormonal the word is dysregulation, in that what used to be your teens, your early 20s, your sex was not a big problem. You wake up in the morning as a man and you wake up with a big you know what, and you think of, you see a pretty lady passing by, eventually your body gets hard and all that. That doesn't happen as much in your 30s and 40s, and you're not able to. Sometimes you're not even able to get an erection. Sometimes you're able to get an erection, but you're not able to keep it for more than 2 minutes or so. And they call that the 1 minute wonder in some cases. But it's not just about men, really. I also know that in women too, and I think we should address this. Sometimes the man may be willing, but the woman may not be willing because she just does, the hormones again will not make her want to have the sexual impulse. But from what our discussion was, it seemed like it was more in the man's case. The man not being able to perform, and this was causing stress mainly on the woman's side. And in the past, and let me take this a little bit. In the past, this was not a ground at all. Women would just, you know how it is now in Africa, they say just for the children's sake, just even if nothing is happening, even if the man is beating you, just for the children's sake, stay in the marriage and just endure it and be a good, happy housewife. But what you're saying now, and from our discussion, you're saying that doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
Yes, it's no longer the case due to awareness, due to exposition, and due to people having been able to access certain information through the media, through the internet, just like we are doing now, trying to educate people that there are better solutions to their problems. You know, in most circumstances, when people get wrong advice to a particular problem, it can lead to another crisis. When you are walking out of a midlife crisis, you're looking for a solution, it can move you into another problem. A woman that maybe no longer feel the way she feels about the husband, about their companionship, I think what they need to work on is their psychology, or the psychology of their relationship, where both parties look at themselves about those things that made them look good and attractive to each other initially. But looking at the level of dissolution of marriages, the level of divorce that we experience now, I think most times is the women who most time open up to tell you, I'm no longer interested, the man is becoming very hostile, the man is no longer performing, the man is becoming another man except the man are married, at the exception of the marriage. So the sexual challenge is put at the back door, not discussed, but the symptoms, which the reaction of the man and his attack, his violence, is what is brought on the table or the floor for people to see.
You bring up some very important points, but we've been told we need to take a break now, so we will take a short break and we will be right back. Okay, welcome back. Information from the legal fields, legal professionals worth their salt. And basically what I've heard is that over 50% of all divorce cases in Nigeria have at their root male non-performance. That's striking. Chike, what do you have to say about that?
The data available may be so, but the challenge with Nigeria is that we have some cultural problem and cultural issues. And most people will not want to share this. But if you ask privately and consult people privately, you will understand that the major challenge why most people walk up to the court and ask for the dissolution of their marriage, on some cases they ask for separation. Separation is a situation where both parties stay apart for some time for them to come back. But in dissolution of marriage is a complete breakdown of marriage, like I said before. The challenge and the cultural background of individual will not allow him to tell the court that both parties no longer have their conjugal rights. And most time it is either that the man can no longer perform out of pride. He may not explain to the wife what the challenges are, and she will actually withdraw from the wife. And the law allows, when conjugal rights and marriages are not consummated, the law may permit you to dissolve your marriage when you put the facts before the court, and the court considers it right in the circumstance.
So eventually this comes to light.
Exactly. They will always hide it from the beginning.
Yeah.
They will always keep it away. And most divorce cases you see, instead of people coming to court to give evidence, they consent to the dissolution of the marriage and they separate.
Now, sexual function has been considered by medical science one of the most pleasurable experiences known to man. And so obviously one can understand if that consummation and that experience is not being had. It seems from what you're saying that while it's there in the background, it's usually too late, that by the time the papers are signed and the ink is dry, people separate. Meanwhile, the original problem was never really addressed like it should. So are you saying that at some point, the lawyers or the people handling the case, once it's taken to legal profession, need to have this at the back of their mind so they can start to investigate at an earlier stage? Should the judge begin to ask this at an earlier stage? In other words, should she be asking, should the question come up, is this man satisfying you sexually? Let's forget about all the fights and all the arguments and the financial issues and all those things. Should they ask at the very beginning if the sexual, the marital experience of sex is being fulfilled? Is that a question that should be asked at the very beginning?
To my mind, it is not in the place of the judge or the lawyers to do the case of the opposite parties.
Okay.
When you take an interview from a client and you ask them some fundamental questions, and it is revealed to the lawyer or the individual taking the brief that the cause of the problem is actual non-performance of the man or the woman or both sides, that is the reason why they really want to dissolve their marriage. I believe that every professional should know how best to approach issues that come before him or her. One, we may not understand that being a professional is not all about the financial gain or the pecuniary gain that comes from you. It is also your ability to live above board in terms of performing your duty. A lawyer who sees that that is the challenge of the individual, I expect that he should advise both parties or the individual that consulted him to go to a medical expert who will help them resolve the problem, and not to take up the matter as a matter that should go as a reason for dissolution of marriage.
So you're basically saying that the lawyer should put above his need or his desire for monetary gain and say, please, you people, first of all, I have a good doctor or a good psychologist, a good counselor that they can go to and talk about these things some more. And if you feel that it's still an issue, and if this medical professional can't handle it for you, then you can come back and we can proceed with the divorce deliberations. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. even if you understand the nature of the profession, whether you go to court or you don't go to court, that does not stop you from putting up your bill to a client that have consulted you.
Right.
So it does not put aside the fact that financial gain should be totally annihilated in the course of performing your duty.
Right.
Now, if after the lawyer has given an expert opinion, there are certain circumstances where the lawyer gives a good advice on how to resolve the problem to consult an expert, and the individual who has briefed the lawyer will insist that he wants this dissolution of the marriage. Now that takes to the next stage of the matter being in court, of what we call, like I said earlier, compulsory reconciliation. If in the compulsory reconciliation, like I said, is provided under section 11 of the Matrimonial Causes Act, there are 3 ways compulsory reconciliation should be done. One, when the judge finds out that in the course of the proceeding that there is need for parties to be reconciled, he said that the judge can adjourn and ask both parties to go and seek for reconciliation. Secondly, the judge himself can ask questions, interview them in chambers, and see possible means of reconciliation. But the danger in this is, after the judge has gone into the reconciliation, the judge will not sit on that case again unless both parties agrees that the judge will continue with the case. The third stage, which is the C of section 11, is the judge can appoint a reconciliator who are going to reconcile both parties. There are professional reconciliators, though not known well in Nigeria, but abroad and some other places, you see people who are experts in different parts of reconciliation. While you are doing this reconciliation, you are bound to explain to them that the challenge they have to face is to get an experienced medical expert who is going to solve their problem and not necessarily go into that. When they explore that option and it works for them, they will both understand that seeking for medical help, psychological help to treat their emotional stress and trauma will be better than dissolving the marriage.
Okay, good. So there are checks and balances. Now, we're going to assume that this is the case. These checks and section A, B, C are followed in most cases, right?
Exactly.
So, if they are followed, does that help in your experience? And I know you're bound by clients' confidentiality, lawyer-client confidentiality. But in your experience, do you see some reversal when that is handled?
Yeah,
do people change their minds, in other words,
there
afterwards?
There are 2 ways to it. In most experience I've gathered in the course of my duty as a lawyer, I found out that most women likely seek for solution to the problem and look for medical expert and opt to go for a medical solution to their problem. But the men, the African thing, the pride, the ego, for them to calm down and accept that is their fault.
Yeah.
Secondly, that I should be exposed to these certain informations about my personal life and being discussed an issue. The man most times declines some of this advice, but it's our nature in Africa. What can we do?
What can we do?
We find ourselves in it.
So I think we're going to have to come back and really see what other solutions we can, because it's a big problem. It's a big problem. Even when it comes to psychological help too, even apart from the sexual aspect, we think about psychological issues, and like I've mentioned several times before, in organizations, international organizations, people go to, the psychiatrist is available on grounds, but there's only the expatriates who go for consultation. The others, the Nigerians, even if they have a problem, they never go there. So the psychiatrist only ends up seeing the white folks and the other countries. So it's a big problem. I think hopefully we might be able to address that. Well, folks, you can see that there's a lot to be said on this topic. And so we will have to continue this discussion next week. But in the meantime, I just want to say a big thank you to Chike. Thank you so much, sir, for making this time to do this. Lots of valuable information. Hope you can make it again next time.
I will try my best.
Good. So, folks, remember, health is a large word. It's, as you can see, it affects so many different things. So it's important that you learn how to take control of your health, because it's in your hands. We will see you again next week. God bless.
Nigeria, our great nation with vast and rich land. Our people are strong and united. Our founding fathers, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, and a host of others bequeathed us a united, peaceful and prosperous Nigeria. Let us honor them by living in peace with one another. Let us eschew violence, ethnic profiling, and religious bigotry. We must avoid hate speech and other forms of derogatory words against our fellow Nigerians. Let our differences in tribes, cultures, religions, or politics be the ingredients that make our unity palatable. Let us all join hands to fight our common enemies of insecurity, poverty, and unemployment. Nigeria is big enough for us all. Let's unite to make our country a great place for us all. This message is from Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation in collaboration with Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Discover Kano, an ancient city with unrivaled cultural magnificence. Located in the northwestern part of Nigeria, Kano is a highly populated city with a long cultural history dating back to the 7th century. When you step into the city, you will discover the tenacious farmers producing various crops like millet, rice, cassava, sweet potatoes, and many more. You will experience the culture and traditions of the beautiful people of Kano. The Hawa Doshe Durbar is a major cultural festival in northern Nigeria. It is the largest procession of colorful horses in the world. This is a tradition that has been practiced for over 500 years, since the 14th century. The Durbar is celebrated at the culmination of Muslim festivals.
The Durbar festival was very, very impressive and a lot of impressions, and I don't even know which costume was most impressive or which LGA was most impressive, because they were all very, very beautiful and was a nice adventure, and I can't even cope with all the impressions at the moment.
A royal parade takes place on this day by thousands of men, including the Emir, on horses adorned in attractive garments and regalia. This celebration is a colorful display of culture full of pomp and pageantry.
Celebrations in this year is very important in that to entertain the people's mind.
It's very different from what I experienced before, and I think I still have to sleep over to process everything what I saw, because it was a lot. It was very emotional.
A visit to Kano is incomplete without enjoying a visit to the palace of the Emir. The Emir's palace is known as a settlement within a settlement, which provides an insight into the typical Hausa architectural design that has been in existence for over 500 years. Another famous attraction in the beautiful city of Kano is the Giron Makama Museum. It is a place known for its traditional architectural excellence. It has superb historical and ethnographic collections on Kanawa civilization, which includes the 15 gates of ancient Kano history, believed to be over 500 years old, and the British cannons from the invasion in 1903. The museum is located opposite the Emir's palace. The Kano Dyeing Pit, also known as the Kofar Matar Dyeing Pit, is one of the most fascinating aspects of the old city. The creative process used by the Kano indigents is an exquisite design on fabrics in the dyeing pits, and it is unmatched around the world. Although the methods they used are ancient, the lush works of art on fabric always remains extremely popular and continues to be in great demand. We move to the Minjibir Weaving Center, a center where the ancient weaving industry still thrives. Walking through this typical African village, you can watch the experienced local weavers at their daily work. The muddy hills of Kano, popularly known as Dala and Goron Dutse Hills. The two hills provide full view of the horizon around the state capital from their tops. Visitors often climb the hills for what may be described as the aerial view of Kano City. A city with captivating cultural history, magnificent architecture, strong art of salesmanship and trade. Explore Kano for an adventure of a lifetime. Kano, the center of commerce.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Well, there's a myriad of things. I think, first of all, we have to go back to writer. You are very well known for your teaching skills. Your students speak a whole lot about you. Miss Nigeria competition.
And I said, let's pick them up, let's take them back to Nigeria, and let's teach them a different kind of job.
Hello, it's that lovely moment again when I take joy, delight, bringing women of substance in Nigeria. Women who are making things happen. Women who are doing maybe little things, if you want to call it that, but in an extremely beautiful way. I'm so excited, in fact, super excited, because today I have a personality of esteem, someone I have so longed to have on the show, and today I've been privilege to have that happen for me, and I know that is someone you're going to look forward to having for another 25 minutes. I tell you what, she is a whole lot of things. I call her totality of womanhood, because she starts by being a daughter, a wife, a mother. She's a prolific writer. She's an architect. She's a philanthropist. She's a whole lot. Let me not empty it. When I return from my break, I'll be introducing my guest. I'll keep your mouth watering for now. Okay, if you're just joining us, the program is The Woman, and you haven't missed out. I'm about to showcase my guest for today, a woman who is an epitome of beauty, if you ask me, and she is the mother of Kaduna State, the lady who is making things happen here, making children and women feel real good. Join me as I welcome architect Hadiza Isma El-Rufai. And I want to say thank you for having me in your state.
You're welcome, Elizabeth.
All right. It's been all smiles. When we see first ladies, we think a whole lot of things. Number one, they're not nice. But ever since I stepped into this state, in your presence, at your back, it's been courtesy, 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 show of kindness and humility all along. And I'm wondering, is it part of the etiquette of being a first lady?
That's an interesting question, but I don't know why you should say you think of first ladies as not being nice. I can assure you that the first ladies that I interact with, they're all very nice women.
But you know what? A lot of times when I meet first ladies, I see a whole lot of military protocol. But I've been here for how many hours? I haven't seen any.
Yeah, I try to keep things simple, actually.
That's how it should be. I quite appreciate that. Now, let me go back to who you are a little bit. You are first in the course of study, an architect, and I'm wondering, what is a woman doing in that field? How did you choose that?
Yes, that's another interesting question. In fact, while I was studying architecture, I think in the whole class there were just 3 of us women.
3?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. How many men?
Maybe like 100.
Oh my God.
So actually, maybe because of the nature of the course and also the fact that in architecture, it's not just about designing. You have to supervise your project. You have to be on the site. So it's more or less seen as a man's profession. But I think nowadays things are changing. You know that we have women doing so many things that before were thought of as just for women, for men. Like we have a lot of women pilots now, and so many other professions are being taken up by women. So I think that saying that what a man can do, a woman can do, is true.
And I tell you, when women get into anything, they bring in the whole of themselves because they are usually very multitask and a lot of it come to play. I did not tell them, when I got into this place, I got bamboozled, because I saw a lot of beauty. And when I said, okay, little wonder, it's an architect place and it has to be as pretty as it can be. I love that. I'm going to take you outside and get to showcase what I enjoyed when I came in here. But back to you. You have this knack for creative writing. In fact, there's a particular book in your name as we speak, and you organize a whole lot of creative writing. I'll go to your creative cut later as well. How do you merge? I thought maybe architects are more like drawing things than writing things. What's the connection?
I would say that there's a connection actually, because both architecture and creative writing, they're creative activities. Architecture is also a creative activity because even though it's both a science and an art, you find that you create. You have to imagine something and you create it. So like if you research, you'll find that there are many beautiful architectural pieces all over the world that are renowned for their architectural beauty. So architecture is also about creativity and, of course, creative writing. But having said that, I have to say that for now, you have different phases of your life. But now what is more important to me and what I enjoy is actually creative writing.
Oh, really? Interesting. So how do you get your inspiration to write?
I get inspiration from everything that's around me.
I won't be surprised if she decides to write about me tomorrow. No problem. Because we've been doing a lot of crazy things behind camera and she's been laughing at us.
Yeah, and you've been giving me some ideas which have been filing in my brain, so don't be surprised. But like I said, you get inspiration from everything, almost everything that happens. I mean, if you have enough imagination, you find that you can write a story about it.
That's interesting. Okay, writing your story is one thing I appreciate about you, but another thing that really touches me a whole lot is the philanthropy in you. I know you didn't start today, right? From the time your husband was a minister, you were already into it, and today you've taken it to a whole new level, and I see it even growing. When I came in earlier, you were not here. We moved around the classrooms. I was quite impressed, and we got some of them to sing a song for me. I was quite impressed. I'll take a break and let us have a little bit of what the student demonstrated for us. What's part of this philanthropism in you?
Well, I think many of us have been privileged in life, especially us of the older generation. The country has given us a lot. We went to good schools, government schools, but they were good enough. Our parents did not have to pay so much for our education. When you think about that, and you are at a place that you're comfortable, I think all of us have to think of a way of giving back to the society. At this point in my life, I believe that the best thing I can do is to give back. Because really, basically now, I don't have any ambitions for myself personally, especially in terms of material things. I'm quite content with what I have. So I think that the best thing is for me to look at those that are less privileged than me and see how I can impact their lives. And while doing that, there are many ways you can impact people's lives. But I choose what I'm doing because as I'm impacting on other people's lives, I'm also enjoying what I'm doing. So it's not like work to me. So in this foundation, we are into basically two things. We have the creative writing program, which is what I really enjoy. We target young people and we try to encourage them and give them a platform so that they can enhance their own creativity. You know, a lot of the times the arts and things to do with creativity are not taken as important as, you know, so-called serious subjects like maybe law, medicine. But we have talented youngsters that unless they're given a platform, they will never realize their full potentials. Apart from that, we have the Women Literacy Program, which we target women that have had to drop out of school due to one reason or the other. Yes. So that's it. So far now we have 10 centers all over Kaduna. Because, you know, some of us were lucky, maybe because of the kind of parents or families we came from, but not every woman, especially in the north, is as lucky as some of us. And we find that when these women are given the opportunity, they really rise up to it.
Yeah, I saw a lot of zeal in them, you know, when I walked in. And I wasn't able to talk to the curriculum planners, but what do you do with them when they are done with the school?
Well, the whole idea of the Women Literacy Program is to make sure that our women become literate. Because in this world of today, if you're illiterate, it's a real big handicap. So our idea is, instead of gathering women to give them what is known as empowerment, teach them how to make soap or how to make puff-puff or how to knit, we recognize that in the world of today, knowledge is free, it's out there, but you have to know how to access it. So what we do is after they've gone through our literacy program, we now pass them off to the next stage, which is the ICT training. We train them on how to use the computer, how to access information on the internet so that they can help themselves.
Okay, so even if they want to learn how to make wigs, they can actually go online.
Google it.
If they want to learn, yes, how to do beats. That's a good one, you know? So they get to challenge themselves with what they see.
Yes.
I never really thought about it.
What we do is giving them the tool to help themselves. Because knowledge is out there and it's free. So you don't have to gather women in a room and teach them something that they can just Google and see it. On YouTube, you'll see people demonstrating actually how to do it. When you want to cook anything, you just Google, the recipe will be there, the ingredients you need will be there. People will tell you what to do. So the important thing is to be literate enough and also to know how to access that information.
Lovely, lovely. Now, I want to take you outside because I talk to you from the inside here and I still get my brain, you know, reoccurring what I saw as I walked in here. And I want my audience to see it with me. It's a beautiful scenery, you won't believe this. And all of it she put up together with her fingers. You know, women are multitask, women are multi-talented. And they say if you train a woman, you train a nation. Now you see she has 10 centers, you know, for what she's doing. And I'm told reliably that each center has 25 people. So by the time she's done 4 years doing this, you know how many people will be out there well knowledgeable. All right, so I'm going to take you outside so the whole world will get to see what I've been talking about. So I have been screaming about the beauty, the aesthetics of this place. I will walk out with her and get to finish my interview within the garden and you get to enjoy what I've been enjoying. Let's go together. Okay. How do you put all this together? In parts of your architectural designs?
Apart from architecture, I love horticulture.
Oh!
One of my passions is gardening.
Yes,
I love gardening.
That's a good one.
You know, yeah.
And I can't wait to enjoy this beautiful space here. Yeah. What I notice about you have this touch of color that works so amazingly well. You know, green mixing up with other things. And I particularly like the whites against the grass. That's a good one. You know, I told you it's your house, but I offer you seats because...
You're the host. Am I the host or you're the host?
All right.
Yeah.
No, there are a whole lot of things I have enjoyed about you. And one of them is your very relaxed nature. I was going through, I've been following you for a while, and I was, listening to some things you said, humor with your husband, some Twitter, speeches that you made. One of them, I think you were at the airport and you cracked some jokes, and some people didn't understand your joke. How do you crack up this joke? I mean, with a seemingly serious look around you and serious office, but you still find time to crack jokes.
I think we should always find time for humor. I like cracking jokes. I like making people laugh. And I think it's important to laugh with all the serious problems that we have. I think it's always good to see the humor in things, and I think in almost everything you can always find humor.
Created hashtags, how I wanted to remember some. When you say you want to, next year you're going to tweet, you have to create, hashtags for people to understand that it's a joke.
Oh, yes.
There was one you said, strictly jokes, strictly for laugh. You had several hashtags.
It's because, in particular, because of the tweet I made that you mentioned about being at the airport and having to queue up in New York, and don't they know who I am? It was a joke, but people started commenting that, hey, look at this woman, she thinks blah, blah. So I realized that many Nigerians don't get sarcasm or joke, so I said it's good to write a caveat first. Common sense required, or, just so that they know. That
your husband is one man that wherever you are, if his name is mentioned in Nigeria, one thing that comes to mind is discipline, seriousness. And reading about your tweets to him, and he replies you in a very jovial manner. Some of us felt elated because for people we thought are so serious-minded and disciplined, they actually find time to crack joke. But back then, back to you and him, how do you relate, very well as a wife to such a very serious man?
Oh, well, yes, in a way my husband is serious, but I have to say that he's also a very jovial person. He also likes making jokes, so we have a lot of fun together.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you find a balance between being a woman, a wife, a mother, a sister, and a first lady? With all the job you do, how do you strike a balance?
Yeah, it's in the beginning it was a bit hard, but I think now it's so much easier for me because, like you said, you have to strike a balance. I know as the wife of the governor, there are certain things that I have to do, but I also have my own personal interests that I do not think is fair for me to just leave them because I am the wife of the governor. After all, this wife of governor thing is only for a time. I think what is more important, for instance, for me, what is more important is this foundation, because it is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, and it has nothing to do with whether my husband is governor or not.
That's a lovely one. There was something you said earlier on that caught me thinking when you said you have no ambition anymore for yourself, materially speaking. I never really thought about that from the perspective you said it. And as soon as you said it, it got me thinking. I asked myself a question. I'm not sure I've been able to give an answer to it, but I'm going to throw that question to you. What does money mean to you?
Money is important, but I think it's important up to a point. There's just a threshold. You cannot be happy if you wake up each morning and you don't know where to get food for your children or how to pay your children's school fees. But once that threshold has been met, that is, you're able to feed yourself, you have a good car, you're able to pay your children's school fees, I don't think any extra.
This is the network service of the NTA. We now join our outside broadcast crew for a live telecast. Please Stay tuned.
I welcome you to these valedictory ceremonies in honor of Honorable Justice Iyayi Lamekara, the retiring Chief Judge of Rivers State. NTA Network Service is here to bring you details of this transmission. On behalf of the outside broadcast crew, my name is Kingsley Amajiri.
Before I read out the order of protocols, please permit me to say, my Lord, the retiring Chief Judge, this is your courtroom, but we have in our presence His Excellency, the First Citizen of Rivers State. My Lord, because of this, we are secure leave to depart from the rules to defer to His Excellency. May I do so, my Lord? Thank you, my Lord. With the leave of the retiring Honorable Chief Judge, I now proceed with the order of protocol. Your Excellency, Nyesom Ezewomike, CON, SSRS, POS, Africa, Governor of Rivers State, and his wife, Her Excellency, Honorable Justice Eberichi Suzette Nyesom Wike, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Dame Dr. Karibo, DSSRS, my Lord, the retiring Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice Adamba E. Yadi Kamikora, DSSRS, the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Umi Uwaji, retired Justices of the Supreme Court, retired Justices of the Supreme Court, we have here Edward Kabai, retired Justice of the Supreme Court, Justices of the Court of Appeal, we have our very own Justice B.A. Johnson and Justice B.N. Osu. Because of the President of the Court of Appeal is now present, we welcome you all. And because of the care and the appreciation we have by Lord Honorable Chief Judge, as I mentioned, every single one of you that I have here. We also have the Chief Judges, the Chief Judge of the President, Honorable Justice Giron, the Chief Judge of Osun State. We have Honorable Justice Ngozi Emir of Enugu State. We have Honorable Justice Rabi Talatuluma, the Chief Judge of Bauchi State. We welcome Honorable Justice Omoha A. Igwe, the Chief Judge of Abia State. Honorable Justice Godwin Jack Abraham, the Chief Judge of Compulsory State, is also here. We welcome you all. Honorable Justice Uma K. Makama, the Chief Judge of Yobe State, is also here. We have numerous judges amongst us. We have Justice Oti Akwalagi, Honorable Justice Gerald Weneka, Honorable Justice Angela Onidi, Honorable Justice Esther Wiley Lolo, Honorable Justice Essie Oji, Honorable Justice Benedict K. Kanye, Honorable Justice C.K. Wako, Honorable Justice Doris Adokene. We have Honorable Justice E.T. Okara here. We also have Honorable Justice I. Erajiri. We have Honorable Justice Akiro Liu, Honorable Justice K.A. Mojaku. We have Honorable Justice Teresa Usope, who is the retired Chief Judge of Abuja State. We have Honorable Justice Benson Anya, Honorable Justice S.D. Howell. Who are all here to celebrate with us. My lords, judges in the High Court and the Compulsory Court of Appeal River State and retired judges of our state, you are all welcome. Honorable members of the National and State Assemblies, the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Professor Zacchaeus Adamo, PSC, SAN, learned senior advocates of Nigeria, the Secretary to the Government and members of the State Executive Council, the Head of Service to River State, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Justice, River State, the Secretary and members of the River State Judicial Service Commission, the Chief Registrars, and the Chief Registrar of the Compulsory Court of Appeal, Chief Registrars of other jurisdictions that are here, Deputy Chief Registrars, Your Worships, learned magistrates, chairmen and members of the Compulsory Court of Appeal of River State, chairmen of all the branches and members of the Nigerian Bar Association, recognize the third Vice President of the Nigerian Bar Association, Victor Frankris, is also here. We welcome service chiefs, notably Mr. S.O. Mohammed, Director, State Security, the River State Command, Your Royal Highnesses and Majesties, my lords, spiritual captains of industries, family and friends of the retiring Chief Judge, respected chiefs, members of the judiciary who are here, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. As we all know, we're here today for a very special valedictory court session in honor of the retiring Chief Judge of River State, Honorable Justice Adama Iyai Namikora, DSSRS, who has served our dear state dutifully and heartily and is now going home to relax. Hello, the Chief Judge, who's about to retire. I need to know that I'm particularly delighted that this court session is a celebration of fruitful years of service. So on that note, we'll quickly go to the program and look to receive addresses as spelled out on page 11 of the program you all have. To take the lead to address us, I'll call on Prince Yegwere, Chairman of Upper Branch of the Nigerian Bar Association.
Please come. Your Excellency, the Governor of River State, please permit me to stand on existing protocol. We are here gathered in keeping with the time-honored tradition of our noble and honorable profession of law to celebrate a quintessential and consummate judge, the Honorable the Chief Judge of River State, my Lord the Honorable Justice Adama Iyai Lamekora, and to bid her farewell from active judicial service as she retires today, the 25th day of May 2021, having attained the mandatory constitutional retirement age of 65 years. The special validity court section is holding at a time the gates of the courts in Nigeria have been shut for more than 6 weeks, owing to the Judiciary Staff Union labor strike, agitating for the implementation of the financial autonomy of the judiciary provided in the Constitution. The NBA wholeheartedly supports the strike and believes that there can be no independence of the judiciary without the judiciary being financially autonomous. For these 6 weeks, a majority of our members who use the court system and earn their living therefrom are unable to do so. They are the ones making the greatest sacrifice in this whole Jusun strike, as they earn no monthly salaries or fee. The case with Jusun members, the honorable judges and the magistrates who have continued to earn their monthly salary irrespective of the strike action. Our members have become endangered fish, while the citizens cannot have access to justice. The judiciary is one of the 3 tripods of our constitutional democracy, and who cannot claim to be a democratic country without a financially autonomous judiciary. We therefore reiterate our call on both the federal and the various state governments to, as a matter of urgency, resolve the issue of implementation of the financial autonomy of the judiciary for the courts to open. My Lord had a long, unblemished, and meritorious service to the judiciary, Rivers State, and our country, Nigeria. I have personally had the privilege of conducting some matters before my Lord the Honorable Chief Judge. I can attest that in the discharge of our judicial duties, my Lord is not given to frivolities. She abhors time-wasting tactics by lawyers and litigants. She is firm and stern in her court. In fact, the usual catchphrase during my Lord's proceeding in court is, "Go straight to the point," especially during cross-examination. And she will insist on it. On a personal note, there were instances I did not like my Lord's insistence that I go straight to the point. However, I can confirm that at those instances, my Lord did justice at the end of those cases. Judgment was delivered in our favor. At this special validity court section, I am therefore not oblivious of my Lord the Honorable Chief Judge catchphrase of "go straight to the point." Accordingly, I have advised myself to go straight to the point. From the profile of my Lord the Honorable Chief Judge made available to us, she was born at Ibadan, Oyo State. She hails from Agede, Isako local government area of Edo State. My Lord had her primary education in Ibadan and secondary education in Lagos. She obtained her first school leaving certificate in 1966 and the West African School certificate in 1972. She attended the famous Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, in present-day Kaduna State, and graduated in 1978, obtaining a Bachelor's of Law degree. She proceeded to the Nigerian Law School, Lagos, and was called to the Nigerian Bar in 1979. She undertook her Mandatory National Youth Service Corps in Plateau State between 1979 and 1980. Her place of primary assignment was the Ministry of Justice, Plateau State. Upon completion of her NYSC in 1980, my Lord joined the Edo State Ministry of Justice, Benin City, as a state counsel until 1983. Between 1983 and 1986, she worked as a legal officer in Delta Steel Company Limited, Owan, Alaja, before joining the Rivers State Judiciary as a senior magistrate grade 1 in 1986. She was promoted to Chief Magistrate grade 1 in 1988 and Chief Magistrate grade 2 She was promoted to Chief Magistrate Grade 2 in 1988 and Chief Magistrate Grade 1 in 1981. She served in various magisterial districts, including Port Harcourt, Elimbu, Ishokbo, Emir. She also served as Chief Magistrate Administration. In 1998, Milord was appointed a judge of the High Court of Rivers State. As a judge of the High Court, Milord served at Ishokbo, Bori, and Port Harcourt Judicial Divisions. On the 15th of January 2016, she was sworn in as Acting Chief Judge of Rivers State and sworn in as the Substantive Chief Judge of Rivers State in March 8, 2016. Milord has had, at various times, occupied other positions. In 1991, she was Chairman of the Election Petition Tribunal in Chair and Port Harcourt, and currently the Chairman of the River State Judicial Service Commission. She has attended several local and international conferences and seminars, some of which are the Alternative Dispute Resolution Conference, the Conference on Multi-Door Courthouse, All Nigerian Judges Conference Abuja 2009, various Women Judges Conference, the Commonwealth Lawyers Conference at Cape Town, South Africa, Emir courses, associate membership of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. Milord was appointed a member of the National Judicial Council in 2019. Milord is blessed with children and grandchildren. Her hobbies include reading, music, and sports. Milord's service in the River State Judiciary spanned a period of 35 years, 12 years at the magistracy, 25 years at the High Court bench, out of which she occupied the office of the Chief Judge of Rivers State for 6 years. According to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. For my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge, it is time to retire. As my Lord retires from active judicial service today, may I, on behalf of the 8 branches of NTA in Rivers State, congratulate and wish my Lord a happy, healthy retirement. So may it please the Lord.
And I have the privilege to call on OCJ Okocha, MFR, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, DSRS, JP, to deliver his address on behalf of the body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria.
Okay. Your Excellency, Nyesom Ezenwawike, Commander of the Order of the Niger, Grand Charisca of Rivers State, Power of Sports in Africa, Governor of Rivers State, and Her Excellency, the Honorable Justice Suzette, the very chief Wike. My Lord, the Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, Justice of the Supreme Court, and of course, my Lord, the Honorable Justice F.F. Arai, retired Justice of the Supreme Court. My Lord, the Honorable Justice Monica Dorban-Nelson, President of the Court of Appeal. Your Excellency, Dame Dr. Ikaribo Haribarigo, Deputy Governor of Rivers State. My Lord, the Honorable Justice Adelma Iyai Radikal, the distinguished service staff of River State, the Honorable, the Chief Judge of River State, my Lord, the Honorable Justice Christiana Giron, the Honorable, the President of the Customary Court of Appeal of River State, my Lords, of all jurisdictions here present, I'm trying to cut the protocol short and recognize all of you, serving and retired, particularly the chief judges who have come from several other states of Nigeria to honor their retiring learned brother justice. The Honorable Professor Zacchaeus Adango, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the Honorable Attorney General, and Commissioner of Justice. My learned brother Silk, distinguished Senior Advocates of Nigeria, the Chairman for Port Harcourt Branch, and other Chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, distinguished colleagues, respected chiefs and traditional rulers, distinguished gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. May I, on behalf of the body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria, Port Harcourt Chapter, and all other senior advocates here present, also join my voice in welcoming you all to this very auspicious occasion, the special valedictory session of the High Court of River State, to mark the retirement of my Lord, the Honorable Justice Adama Iyayi Lamiko, Chief Judge of River State, from service in the High Courts of our dear state. I believe that hearty congratulations are due to my Lord, and I hasten to congratulate my Lord on her retirement after what was undoubtedly loyal, dedicated, and meritorious services to the judiciary of River State in particular, and indeed the judicial arm of government in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As we are all aware, service as a judicial officer in the office of a judge of the High Court of a state or any other High Court or superior courts of equivalent status shall cease when the person holding such office attains the age of 65 years. His Lordship, the Honorable Justice Adama Iyayi Lamiko, attained the age of 65 years today, 25th May 2021, and by the stipulation of Section 291, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Lord shall cease to hold office as a judicial officer accordingly. Available records indicate that my Lord studied law at the Ahmadu Bello University and graduated with LLB, Bachelor of Laws, honors, in the year 1978. She was called to the bar in Nigeria in the year 1979, and thereafter proceeded in the same year to serve in the National Youth Corps Service with her deployment to Plateau States. In the year 1980, she joined the Edo State Civil Service and was employed in the Ministry of Justice as a state counsel from 1980 to 1983. Between the years 1983 and 1986, she was employed as a legal officer by the Delta Steel Company Limited, Alaja, now in Delta State. In the year 1986, she was appointed a senior magistrate grade 1 in the River State Judiciary. She rose through the ranks and eventually became a Chief Magistrate, Grade 1, in the year 1991. As magistrate, my Lord served in several magisterial districts, including Port Harcourt, Elimbu, Ishioko, and Emir, and also served as Chief Magistrate Administration at the headquarters of the Rivers State Judiciary here in Port Harcourt. In the year 1998, my Lord was appointed and duly sworn in as a judge of the High Court of Rivers State. She sat at the Ishioko, Bori, and Port Harcourt judicial divisions of the High Court until the 15th day of January 2016, when she was appointed and duly sworn in as the acting Chief Judge of Rivers State. On the 8th day of March 2016, and following the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, my Lord, the Honorable Justice Adama Iyai was appointed and duly sworn in as the Chief Judge of Rivers State by His Excellency Nyesom Ezenwawike CON. As Judge of the High Court of Rivers State, and indeed as Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice Adama Iyai diligently discharged her duties and performed her functions honestly and to the best of her ability, and faithfully in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law. To the best of my knowledge, information, and belief, she was never found wanting in the discharge of her several duties, and is now retiring after very meritorious service and with an unblemished career. My Lord, congratulations. My Lord had a very good relationship with the body of senior advocates of Nigeria, and also with the bar, particularly the several branches of the Nigerian Bar Association here in Rivers State. As Chief Judge, my Lord also served as the Chairman of the Rivers State Judicial Service Commission. She made several laudable innovations to the machinery for the administration of justice in Rivers State, the most significant being her efforts to digitalize the judiciary and put in place the system for filing of causes and matters by electronic means. And this was through the Reef Commerce platform that was established under her tenure. Even though the system has since been up and running, a few difficulties still persist. It is, however, my hope that going forward, more improvements will be made in that regard, so as to secure the just, efficient, and speedy dispensation of justice which we all desire in Rivers State. As my Lord bows out of judicial service in the High Court, it is my hope that she will continue to serve our learned and honorable profession of law. Her service is a worthy testimony to support our hopes and aspirations for unity and happy coexistence among the peoples of Nigeria. Here is a citizen of Nigeria, of the feminine gender, who originally came from Edo State and made her home here in Rivers State, which state she has served with dedication and diligence for several years. Her service and the fact that she rose to become the Chief Judge of Rivers State also testify to the fact and the truth that regardless of state of origin, man or woman, one can make it to the highest office in one's chosen career in the state where one chooses to work. My Lord, Honorable Justice Adama Iye Biayi-Lamikon, on behalf of the body of senior advocates of Nigeria, I wish you a very happy life in retirement. And I pray the Almighty and Eternal God to continue to bless you, to continue to keep you in good health and in peace and in happiness. Your Excellencies, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for listening, and I pray the Almighty and Eternal God to continue to bless us all. Amen? Amen.
Your Excellency, Nyesom, Ezewonwike, CON, GSSRS, Governor of Rivers State. Your Excellency, Honorable Justice Eberishi Suzette Ezewonwike, Wife of Governor of Rivers State and Justice of the High Court of Rivers State. Your Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Albohar, DSSRS, Deputy Governor of Rivers State. My noble Lord, Honorable Justice Mary Ict Training, Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. My noble Lord, Honorable Justice F. Tagara, Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria retired. My noble Lord, Honorable Justice Tom Bandosa, President, Court of Appeal of Nigeria. My noble Lord, retiring Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice Adama Iyayi-Lamikon. Please do permit me to adopt the elaborate protocol already well set out. It is with a deep sense of responsibility that I rise to deliver this short speech upon the gracious invitation of the Rivers State Judiciary at the special court session in honor of my noble Lord, Honorable Justice Adama Iyayi-Lamikon, DSSRS, in the retiring Honorable Chief Judge of Rivers State. The history of the 3 court session dates back to centuries as a special session of the court to celebrate the retirement from the bench of the valedictorian Bardidex after years of military service to the state and to wish him a restful retirement life. Within the context of judicial practice in Nigeria, this special court session accords with the tenor and spirit of Section 291, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, which provides that a judicial officer appointed to any other court other than the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal shall cease to hold office when he attains the age of 65 years. In a sense, therefore, the holding of this special court session represents a formal declaration that my noble Lord Justice Adama Iyayi-Lamikon has attained the mandatory retirement age of 65 years, as prescribed under Section 291, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution. It is noteworthy that this voluntary court session is holding on the effective date of your Lordship's retirement from the bench. This is consistent with the practice in the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, and also accords, in my respectful view, with the intendment of Section 291, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution. In dealing with the first question of the process of a good judge, a learned writer, Stephen Clark, has listed judicial temperament, ability to communicate, intelligence, ethics, experience, sound education, courage, and integrity as essential qualities expected of a good judge. Writing about courage and integrity, the learned writer notes as follows, unquote, legal courage is the willingness to do what the law requires the judge to do, even though the cause the judge must follow. It's not the popular law. Integrity is not being influenced by the identity, race, gender,
political status, wealth, or relationship of the party or lawyer before the judge. More basically, it is not doing what the judge knows to be wrong, unquote. Your Excellencies, my noble lords, members of the United Bar, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have lifted the above quotation advisedly to demonstrate the virtue of courage and integrity in the molding of a good judge. I have no doubt that our valedictorian possesses these qualities in admirable measure. At a time when some judges, out of fear for their safety and the safety of members of the family, would decline to accept some matters assigned to them by the Chief Judge of the State, my noble lord was known to have demonstrated judicial courage by accepting, conducting, and concluding matters assigned to him in faithful obedience to his judicial oath to administer justice to all manner of persons without fear of favor, affection, or ill will. As a young lawyer and as a member of the Abuja Bar, I had the privilege of appearing before my noble lord to conduct proceedings. As the judicial squad judge, my noble lord exhibited firm control of proceedings in his court. He was in every sense dominus litis. I will not share his power over conduct of proceedings with any counsel, no matter his standing at the bar. In this way, my noble lord developed a unique style of saving precious judicial time and thereby ensure speedy determination of causes and matters before him. Interestingly, beneath my noble lord's real judicial courage and firmness lies a calm and gentle heart, a heart filled with passion and empathy. As a member of the Rivers State Judicial Service Commission, I had the real privilege of working closely with my noble lord, and I was pleasantly surprised to observe at close range how power and authority could be exercised without pride or arrogance, but rather with humility, respect, and candor. My noble lord clearly demystified the office of the Chief Judge of Rivers State without diminishing the potency of the authority that pertains to that office. A perusal of my noble lord's profile shows that my lord was destined for public service. My lord called his professional teeth at the Edo State Ministry of Justice, where he served as State Counsel. He also served as legal officer at the Delta Steel Company before joining Rivers State Judiciary as a senior magistrate Grade 1 in 1986. My lord gained rapid promotions at the lower bench before his elevation to the upper bench of Rivers State in 1998. There is no doubt that the enormous exposure in legal practice and the lower bench which my noble lord gained before his elevation to the upper bench prepared him sufficiently for his career on the upper bench, which is coming to a glorious end today. Without mincing work, my noble lord will be greatly missed by the bar, particularly law officers of the Rivers State Ministry of Justice. Your lordship spared no time in encouraging and guiding us when we appeared before your lordship. And for this, we owe your lordship a special debt of gratitude. Your service to the Rivers State Judiciary and your contribution to the development of our law and the sustainable growth of the legal profession will forever be appreciated by all men of goodwill. It is gratifying to note that my noble lord is retiring during the golden era of the Rivers State Judiciary, an era marked by uncommon transformation of the Rivers State Judiciary through provision of modern working tools and retirement homes for our workers. For administration of excellency, there is no doubt whatsoever, therefore, that my noble lord is retiring in comfort. My lord, you deserve it, and even more. As your lordship joins other living brothers in retirement, we wish your lordship sound health, divine protection, peace of mind, and above all, the grace to carry on. Enjoy a restful retirement life. May it please the honorable God.
Your Excellency, Chief Barrister Nyesu is a one-week CON, GSS, POS, the Governor of Rivers State. Your Excellency, Honorable Justice, the very Chief Suzanne Nyesu, wife of the Governor of Rivers State. Your Excellency, Dr. Mr. Honorable Harry Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Right Honorable Queen Owaye Ibani, Speaker, Rivers State House of Assembly, my Lord, Honorable Justice M.U. Odile, JSC, my Lord, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, now to return. At this point, I observe order protocol. In consonance with the age-old tradition of the legal profession, all the local and international jurisdictions of Europe, this special valedictory court session is in honor of the retiring Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice A.I. Iyaye Lamekara, Distinguished Service Star of Rivers State, DSSS arrest. This 25th day of May 2021, Section 291, sub 2 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. We are thankful to God Almighty for the validation of His Lordship, Honorable Justice Iyaye, whose tenure as the Chief Judge of Rivers State by the Gregorian calendar counts the globe end midnight of this 25th May 2021, after 35 years of meritorious service to the judiciary of Rivers State. Honorable Justice A.I. Iyaye Lamekara is an indigene of Edo State of Nigeria. His lordship is not an indigene of Rivers State by marriage. The incontrovertible fact that my lord was employed as magistrate in the Rivers State Judiciary, appointed as sworn in as judge of the High Court of Rivers State, and finally became the 8th Chief Judge of Rivers State, speaks volumes of the grace of God and His Lordship. The Bible in the book of Romans, chapter 9, verses 16 to 18, exemplifies God's grace or mercy in the affairs of man. I quote, so, then it is not of him who wills, not of him who wrongs, but of God who shows mercy. For the scripture says to Pharaoh, for this very purpose I have raised you up, that I may show my power to you, and that my name be declared in all the earth. Indeed, therefore he has mercy on whom he wills, and on whom he wills, he has it. Unquote. God's grace on His Lordship was effectuated through the instrumentality of God's vessel, His Excellency Chief Barrister is the one week COM, ESSRS, POS Africa. A composition or the aggregate of erudite addresses from the chairman, NBA Port Harcourt, body of senior advocates of Nigeria, and the Honorable Attorney General Commission for Justice Rivers State have adequately narrated the biodata of my Lord the Chief Judge, the validator, and therefore, for economy of time and sense of proportion, I refrain from repeating my Lord's biodata. I've done all the glowing tributes of previous speakers in this session respecting my Lord. For us in the Rivers State Judiciary, we extol the virtues and achievements of my Lord from her past, family upbringing, education, judicial career, from cradle as magistrate of various grades and judge in the Rivers State Judiciary, culminating in appointment as the 8th substantive Chief Judge and the 2nd female Chief Judge of Rivers State on 8 March 2016 by His Excellency Chief Justice Wike. My Lord, the judge as the validator and presiding over this special court session is expected to deliver a composite address on her pedigree and the Rivers State Judiciary. In order not to state my Lord, or overhear an address, I will not dive into details. But allow my Lord this singular honor to fully great details of our biography, some of which form the record of the River State Judiciary, to address other issues, emerging issues concerning the bench and the bar during her term. But it is the place of the River State Judiciary to outline the landmark achievement of the River State Judiciary during the tenure of my Lord to this day, 25th of May 2021, as the dictates of mercy may inhibit my Lord from personally narrating her achievements. The River State Judicial Information Technology Policy. In line with the Judicial Information Technology Policy of the National Judicial Council and official directives to all state judiciaries in Nigeria, the River State Judiciary set up the River State Judicial Information Technology Committee, comprising members of the bench, bar, and other stakeholders, and a reform agenda for River State Judiciary was established and adopted. Consequently, there was automation of administration of justice in our registries, and courts are electronically conducted, not paper-based or manually conducted. This ranges from e-registry, e-filing, e-service, e-box retrofitting of the registry, and e-expanding pending registry. The River State Court Management Information System, RIFCOMIS, platform or web was created to make e-court operation fast and efficient. Remote hearing with physical and virtual support are available, and practice direction for the current development have been passed by the Chief Judge. River State High Court is one of the few pilot courts of the National Judicial Council courtroom technology policy. We have two courts, digitally connected for this purpose in Port Harcourt Judicial Division. And very happily, the NJC/NJI Visitation Committee on Actualization of Information Technology Policy by state judiciaries gave official commendation to River State Judiciary. I heard that River State Judiciary has surpassed other states and as a model for other states to emulate. At the forefront of this success story and laudable achievement is the priority attention and financial release and support to the River State Judiciary by His Excellency Chief Pastor Yeso is the one we came. Expectedly, e-filing system application and other processes have caused concerns and generated varied complaints and challenges for lawyers and litigants. In our judiciary, judges, magistrates, and non-judicial staff are also confronted with some of these challenges for the new order. But we are all determined to make the project a good success with time. It is a reality that the introduction of a change of a new order and the new method of doing things in government establishment and society will always meet with initial resistance by society. And it is beset with civil service bureaucracy of the workforce and other stakeholders. This is the unfortunate reaction to the introduction of information technology, especially in e-filing system in our courts. And with the traditional conservatism and inelastic mindset of some members of our noble profession, this complaint, some journey in the form of slow start and slow pace of e-filing are expected, but hope is not lost. The good news is that the judiciary under my law, the retiring Chief Judge, has identified and incidented the complaint from the bar and the litigating public, and remedial action I expected soonest. We employ the bar to join hands with the River State Judiciary and the right-hand alley of the judiciary to make this project a substantial level of successful performance now before we attain perfection. Establishment of the family court Reconciliation Law 2019, the Rules and the Practice Direction 2020 have been made by His Lordship, the retiring Chief Judge. All physical infrastructure are in place and be for commissioning and operation in April 2021 before His Lordship retired, bear for the Christians nationwide strike, welfare of judges and magistrates. During His Lordship's tenure, His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, constructed and provided residential accommodation for all judges of the Rivers State origin, serving in the judiciary of Rivers State, the Federal High Court of the Federal Capital Territory Abuja, the Justices of the Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court, all on owner-occupier basis or in kind. This also includes the past Chief Judges and the retiring Chief Judge of Rivers State. This is an unparalleled landmark achievement whose equal and memory time cannot obliterate. Similar provision for magistrates of Rivers State Judiciary by the Rivers State government in the offer. In the same vein, official cars were provided for judges and magistrates as well as chairmen of all the customary courts in Rivers State by the government of Rivers State as requested by the Rivers State Judiciary. Let me take liberty in this special court session to dispel and debunk the unpopular misconception expressed in some quarters. Remarkably, some members of the bar that the said cars are gifts to the judges of Rivers State Judiciary by the Governor of Rivers State. This is inglorious as it is insolent and misleading to say the least. Be it known that by the National Judicial Council policy for state and federal judiciaries, official cards of judges are to be replaced every 4 years by the judiciary as provided by the government. This is also a prerequisite for appointment of new judges. His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, ranks as the only governor in Nigeria to give faith to the observance of this NJC policy by providing cards to judges in his first term in office and replacing them with new ones 4 years later. The government of Rivers State deserves commendation, not degradation, for living up to its constitutional duties to Rivers State Judiciary. May we, on behalf of the Judiciary, express our profound appreciation to His Excellency, Chief Master Yesu Wike. We pray His Excellency not to be dissuaded or dismayed at the foul and uncomplimented languages from the lay and the learned. We affirm and declare that all judicial officers in Rivers State Judiciary will continue to apply themselves diligently to their constitutional duties to all without fear or favor, malice or ill will. For the Rivers State Judiciary, our official position is this. From our practical reality, financial autonomy of the state is practiced by the state government to a very great extent. Staff discipline, physical infrastructural development of judiciary without a competent and disciplined workforce or staff to derive the system to its constitutional goals and manage the existing structure, the judiciary will degenerate and administration of justice will be in danger. His Lordship proved our mantle as a strict disciplinarian as the Chief Judge of Rivers State. Discipline of some judicial staff, especially our station court, manifesting in form of corrupt practices, insubordination, absenteeism, we are called to the barest minimum, despite resistance to disciplinary measures by silent non-conformity in the judiciary. The judiciary and stakeholders in the administration of justice. As ever, the bar State has maintained or acted cordially with respect for the retiring Chief Judge, and as the judicial right-hand entity and twin pillars in the administration of justice. The presence of members of the bar in this special court session is a mark of great honor. We thank the bar for their continued collaboration and their support for financial autonomy for the judiciary. The River State Police Command, led by EP Friday Buka, has given tremendous support to the judiciary. The Nigerian Correctional Service, Port Harcourt, and other security agencies, and the press also deserve commendation for their support for the judiciary. The Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria, River State Branch. The River State Judiciary recognizes the Judicial Union of River State, JUSUN, as a legally recognized body formed for the promotion of the welfare of non-judicial staff of the judiciary. Whilst we recognize the fact that the national strike, as declared by their national body, is for the realization of the constitutionally guaranteed financial autonomy for the River State Judiciary and compliant by the JUSUN River State Branch, is inevitable. The River State Judiciary and judges observe unfair comments and aggressiveness by some officials of JUSUN River State taking undue advantage of the strike. Many judges were prevented from entering the court premises to take their case files. We refrain from giving details, but we dare to say that the unfortunate phenomenon, especially threat to life, is definitely outside responsible trade unionism or activism and shows total disregard for constituted authority, their employers. We also advise the JUSUN leadership in River State to embrace moderation as exhibited by other state branches and realize that the activities of the judiciary and private legal practice will crumble and suffer with such extremism. The River State Judiciary will always ensure that staff of the judiciary get their due within the affordable means of the judiciary. Before I come to a close, it is no longer me to say that COVID-19 pandemic took its toll on nations of the world, Nigeria inclusive, in terms of loss of life and adverse effect on the economy. We employ all our sundry to strictly observe the COVID-19 protocols to save life. Farewell. We are bidding farewell to my Lord, the Chief Judge of River State. The biographer, Sean Aaron, taught on legacy of office holders is budget and strife. He said, and quote, "Have your name on heart, not on tombstone. A legacy is etched into the minds of others and the stories they share about you," unquote. In grateful remembrance and acknowledgement of his lordship legacy of meritorious service, we find in this hallowed special court valedictory court session the following. 1. A book titled Compilation of Cases and Cases. The Honorable Justice Adama Iye Lamekara, Chief Judge of River State, 8th of March 2016 to 25th of May 2021. A contribution from author/writer and compiled by the editorial board chaired by Honorable Justice S.C.N. Thompson with other members. 2. There are also 250 copies of a stress-reducing and inspirational book titled Factfulness, authored by Hans Rosling and 2 others, donated by Mr. Wong, a former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. An e-magazine featured River Rivers Empire magazine titled Feeder, Rivers Moving Beyond the Pandemic. Visit Facebook, www.facebook.com/Rivers. There are other personal monetary messages, writing and gift items we need not mention. The unveiling of the book and presentation will be performed at the end of this address. It is with fondness and nostalgia that the River State Judiciary bids my Lord the Chief Judge farewell. We thank their lordships of various jurisdictions, the bench and the bar, all men and women here present, for joining us to bid farewell to my Lord on this occasion of our formal disengagement from judicial service after 35 years of the meritorious service to the state and nation. Remarkably and spectacularly, my Lord headed the River State Judiciary at the zenith of the prosperity of the River State Judiciary under His Excellency Chief Barrister Nyeso Ezemo-Wike. Looking at my Lord at 65, sporting athletic elegance, and the charm of a lady in her prime of life, we wonder whether we should let her disengage. But we must let her go as commanded by the Constitution. My Lord, the Chief Judge, so the doctorate monetary of life in retirement after 35 years of active service will set and down on you. You will be in solitude. Indulge in self-examination of your judicial career and life in retirement. My Lord, you will find consolation and comfort in God, not in man. The River State Judiciary joins the well-meaning of the people of River State in wishing my Lord peace, good health, happiness, God grace in retirement. Farewell, my Lord. At this stage, by video unveiling and presentation of the book. At this stage, and with the leave of His Excellency and my Lord, may I respectfully invite an illustrious personality in River State and Nigeria to undertake the task of unveiling and presenting the book titled Compilation of Cases and Cases. The Honorable Justice A.I. Lameka, written in her honor. The Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odile, CFR, Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Day of St. Gregory the Great, and Lovely Lady Night of St. John. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Chief Nyesom-Wike, I'm the First Lady of Rivers State, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Your Excellencies, my Lords, learned silk, my learned friends, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I have been assigned to unveil and present a certain book written in honor of the outgoing Chief Judge. But I would want to have a little reminiscence into the past. I came into the River State Judiciary as magistrate grade 2, and the second female here. The first being Elizabeth Quinta Lemfrey. Thereafter, Daisy Okocha joined us, after which other females like the retiring Chief Judge, Stella Ogene, and others. Interestingly, the retiring Chief Judge understudied me in 1986 when she was appointed senior magistrate. The first female High Court Judge of Rivers State, Denton West, was sworn in with Elizabeth Lemfrey in 1986. In 1991, Daisy Okocha was appointed High Court Judge, and I came in 1992. A bit of this ancient history helps the young ones to understand. Interestingly, the Rivers State judiciary has made a lot of positive effects on people who are outside the state. A lot of you would wonder why many chief judges from other states and other judges like Justice Mosi Heme is here. She's here because she's owing the Rivers State Judiciary. She used our library for her PhD dissertation. In 1997, when I was sitting in one of those bungalow courts around these premises, City of Okocha would give the history because it was the regime under which he was Attorney General that built those bungalows. This area was called Abuja. Some students from the Nigerian law school, I believe there were about 15 in number, were attached to my court. I can remember a few names. Miss Vida Abunu, Miss Susan Obuzo, and Mr. Jason Wike. After the interaction with them, at the end of it, they insisted on a party kind of thing to see them off. And the leader of the team, in making his speech, said he was waiting to be called to the bar and he would enter into politics. I advised him against it. He interjected and said nothing would stop him. He was heading straight into politics. And history has shown what has happened. I was not surprised when he rejected my advice, because I had earlier given that advice to my husband. Because I come from a political home, the uncertainties are not too pleasant to the children and the wife in the home. And so I didn't want that for myself. But he rejected my advice and entered. So as the going got very rough, the story taken around was that the man is quiet. It was his wife that pushed him in. Because of the activities we had had in FIDA and the photographs, they said I wanted the photographs told him to debunk the story. He said he will never debunk the story, that in fact he liked the story. So that if he went and failed, people will sympathize with him. Until date, he has not debunked the story. And that's why I'm using this forum to tell the rest of the story. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is really a great pleasure, a thing of honor for me to be asked to perform this assignment. And one can see with the numerous personages that have come from all over the Federation, including the President of the Court of Appeal, that the outgoing Chief Judge is one with a lot of goodwill cutting across the nation. And so it is my pleasure, and with a special grace of God, that distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the book that has essays in honor of Adama Iye Lamekara, Chief Judge of Rivers State, a distinguished woman, a mother, grandmother, a woman with a fear of God. Thank you very much. Thank you, my Lord, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. To maintain decorum, the books that have just been presented will be given to His Excellency and His entourage, the visiting justices and judges, the senior advocates of Nigeria, and the chairman of the Port Harcourt branch of the NTA, while copies for other branches will be handed out subsequently. For my lords, the judges of the High Court and the Compulsory Court of Appeal, they will be distributed to their chambers, while the quota for the magistrates and chairmen and members of the Compulsory Court of Appeal will also be channeled subsequently, while the books donated by the former Attorney General will be distributed as directed. At this point, we're now going to watch a documentary in honor of the retiring Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice Adama Iye Lamekara. I'm also asked to say that for the want of time, the presentation of gifts should be done at the reception following this session.
Working in this place, I worship you. I worship you. I worship you. You meet every need. I worship you. I worship you. Oh,